The Arizona Supreme Court upholding a 160-year-old pre-statehood abortion ban that could shutter abortion clinics in the state. That means anyone aiding an abortion will face 2 to 5 years in prison. The only exception, if the procedure is deemed necessary to save the life of the pregnant woman. President Biden saying millions of Arizonans will soon live under an extreme and dangerous abortion ban. And Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs called the court's decision a dark day in Arizona.
It is another dark day in a post-Roe world, this time with the Arizona Supreme Court deciding that a law from 1864 is enforceable. This is a law that was on the books before Arizona even became a state, and slavery was still a very real thing, and women did not even have the right to vote. Now, the decision is currently stayed for 14 days to allow time for the appropriate advocates to file an appeal, but if this law does go into effect, it will be a near total abortion ban in the state of Arizona. And we have nobody else to blame for this than Donald Trump and the conservative justices he appointed to the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade. And it's quite ironic that he was only bragging about this a day or two ago. So let's go ahead and take a look at what he had to say.
Many people have asked me what my position is on abortion and abortion rights, especially since I was proudly the person responsible for the ending of something that all legal scholars, both sides, wanted and, in fact, demanded be ended. Roe v. Wade. They wanted it ended.
Now, aside from Trump being absolutely full of crap on this issue, there definitely was not a consensus of scholars wanting Roe v. Wade overturned. It continues to surprise me that Republicans continue to step on rakes on this issue. They're like the dog that caught the car, and now they don't know what the hell to do. But we should definitely keep this in mind as we move towards the 2024 election, because we have nobody else to blame but Donald Trump and his conservative appointments to the Supreme Court. And we definitely need to take note of all of the downstream impacts and negative outcomes we are seeing because Roe v. Wade kicked the abortion issue back to the states. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few of these stories, and we'll start off by looking at this story from Ohio, where the 10-year-old girl was sexually abused and was forced to cross state lines to get the medical care that she needed. So let's go ahead and take a look at that.
In Ohio, a 27-year-old man is in jail. This man, after police say he confessed to raping and impregnating a 10-year-old girl. Well, that little girl was forced to cross state lines into Indiana in order to get an abortion. Now, since Ohio bans nearly all abortions about 6 weeks into the pregnancy, now this case has become a national conversation, especially in the political world.
Now, I cannot imagine what these parents went through to find out that your 10-year-old daughter was pregnant through sexual abuse, and then to discover that she was not going to be able to receive the appropriate medical care because the state's abortion laws were so strict. That must have been devastating. I think we can all agree that a 10-year-old girl should not be pregnant. And if she were to bring that pregnancy to term, it could be life-threatening. This is why pro-choice advocates say that these decisions should be left up to the woman and their doctor, or a parent's child and their doctor. Because these are complicated issues that have a variety of variables, and they require nuance. These are not easy things to decide. And now we have hospitals across the country sending people like Amanda Zurawski home because she wasn't sick enough to receive the appropriate medical care. So let's go ahead and take a look at her story.
They married in Texas and were thrilled to start a family. Then in August, when Amanda was 18 weeks, just 4 months pregnant, her water broke. Losing the amniotic fluid her baby needed to survive. Her doctor told her,
"You're 100% for sure going to lose your baby." We just kept asking, isn't there anything we can do? Isn't there anything we can do? And the answer was no.
And then, as she would later write on Instagram, the nightmare got worse. Her doctor said because of anti-abortion laws in Texas, they couldn't terminate the pregnancy, even though Amanda was at a high risk for developing a life-threatening infection. Texas law allows for abortion if the mother has a life-threatening physical condition that places her at risk of death or substantial impairment. But Texas lawmakers haven't spelled out what that means. They haven't said exactly when an abortion can be provided. A few days later, Amanda did develop an infection.
I was shaking, my teeth were chattering. I was trying to tell Josh that I didn't feel good.
Very quickly, she went downhill very, very fast. She was in a state I've never seen her in.
The bacterial infection spreading through her body could have been prevented if she'd been provided an abortion.
These barbaric laws prevented her from getting any amount of health care when she needed it.
Finally, when her temperature hit 103 degrees, her doctors terminated the pregnancy. But Amanda was still sick. Her blood pressure crashed and she needed a blood transfusion.
There's a lot of commotion. And I said, what's going on? And they said, we're moving you to the ICU. And I said, why? And they said, you're developing symptoms of sepsis.
That was when I was really scared I was going to lose her.
They named their daughter Willow, her ashes in this necklace. And now, Amanda may not be able to have another child because her uterus is so scarred from the infection, an infection that didn't have to happen.
It does not make sense to me that this is where we are at in America today. At the supposed protection of an unborn fetus, we are now putting the lives of women at risk. And because Amanda Zurawski had to go through this harrowing ordeal, she's going to have trouble conceiving and starting a family in the future. This seems very antithetical to the pro-life movement. And it's because Roe v. Wade was overturned that we are seeing these horrible, horrible stories all across the country. And how could we forget Kate Cox? She was forced to sue the state of Texas for her reproductive rights and then was, again, forced to flee her state because Paxton, the attorney general down there, was adamant about controlling the outcome of Kate Cox. So let's go ahead and take a look at that really quick.
This morning, a Texas mother making a difficult decision to leave her home state for the emergency abortion her doctors say she needs. Her legal team saying Kate Cox's health situation had grown worse.
Once you've had multiple trips to the emergency room, it doesn't make any sense to keep waiting.
Hours later, the highest court in Texas overruling a lower court's decision on Monday, now saying Cox's doctor didn't show her abortion would meet the standard for a medical necessity, clarifying the narrow exceptions to the state's abortion bans.
I never thought I would ever need or want an abortion. I always wanted a big family.
It's a case of legal whiplash for Kate and her husband Justin, who already have 2 children. The couple devastated to learn the baby she's carrying is suffering from a fatal genetic condition, a pregnancy her doctors say is not viable and jeopardizes her future fertility.
There's no outcome here that I take home my healthy baby girl.
This is just cruel. We should not be allowing the government or people like Ken Paxton stepping in to make these types of decisions for people like Kate Cox. These decisions should be left up to the woman and her doctor. They are complicated. They require nuance. And I don't think the government should be the one stepping in and determining the outcome for anybody's family planning or medical needs. We wouldn't accept this in any other realm of medical care. But for some reason, when it comes to reproductive rights, these people want control. And we know we are going to continue seeing these types of things in states all across the country until we have some sort of federal protections for abortion. And there's only one candidate in 2024 offering anything resembling that, and that is Joe Biden. And let's not forget that it was Donald Trump appointing 3 conservative justices that overturned Roe v. Wade. And all of this nastiness that we're seeing across the country when it comes to reproductive rights should be put on them. Now, I wanted to take a look at one of the Biden ads that were just released. I think they rightfully are hitting Republicans on this issue. I think they are on the right side of the issue. So let's go ahead and take a look at the new Biden ad that was just released.
So this is one of our willow boxes. This is just filled with some of the things that we had started gathering for her while I was pregnant.
Yep.
There's her little baby book. This is the outfit that she was gonna maybe wear home from the hospital. All of these. This is the blanket that she was in. And these are her little footprints.
It's okay.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Donald Trump did this. And that's the only thing we need to remember when we go vote in 2024 if we care about reproductive rights. Donald Trump is single-handedly responsible for appointing 3 conservative justices that helped overturn Roe v. Wade. This was a right that women enjoyed for more than 50 years. I think our leaders should be expanding our rights, not taking them away. So let's not forget in November. Now, I know this is a pretty contentious topic, but if you got anything out of the video, please remember to smash that like button and hit subscribe. If you think I got something wrong, or if you disagree with me on something, feel free to comment below. And if you want to hear why ex-Trump officials think he shouldn't be president in 2024, watch the video on the screen now. I'll see you on the next one.